Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. It is Champ Chat time. I'm Paddy Power. This is the local pundit, and we are here to talk about everything in the championship. As many teams as we have some interesting info to talk about. Now, the gang's all here tonight. So we have John Merrill and we have our special guest, the Wrexham Rocker.
Hey, and you thought I was gone. No chance, people. I heard some transfer rumors today. Yeah.
So what's the rumor? Go on. Throw it out there.
The rumor is that Wrexham are interested in signing Siddiqui Sharif. And I don't know who he is, but he sounds awesome. And he's 18 years old. Rock on, dude.
2.5 seasons of not being required on the squad, huh? Is it worth that money? Who knows?
What's 17 million to billionaires and such? Whatever. Blow it, baby.
Okay, we'll be back in a second, guys, and we will get this started. Okay,
What's up, guys?
Who's that guy?
Okay, I said we were going to start it, but we're not going to start it because I have something else to bring up first. On the weekend, I had a fantastic conversation with one Mr. Baz Ratbone. He is a physio to the stars, was in the Premier League. He also played for Birmingham, and he had some fantastic stories. And I am going to quickly show a little preview, and then we will get going. So, John, you may like this one. Watch this. Let's click the right button. First question, let's jump into it. You have obviously played in lots of different teams. You've been physio for lots of different teams. Your boyhood club is Birmingham. So first up, which team do you actually support?
The answer is none. But I guess if you had to press me, it would be the first club that you love. So inside me, I'm a Birmingham City fan. I didn't enjoy my time there. Things didn't go well. That's all about the first book. Everybody's read it will know that. It kind of made me fall out of love with that club, but that club is my club and will always be my club.
Right.
I love it.
It was a great conversation. We spoke about everything to do with injuries, and there were some great questions in there and some fantastic answers. He's a really funny guy. So that full interview will be coming likely in the next couple of days. I just don't know exactly when. So look out for that one, guys. And at the very end, I'll play one more clip. And there's a couple of clips in the Discord. So there's a little segue. If you are not in the Discord, let me shout it out to everybody because I usually forget. And I will drop a link in the chat in just a few moments because we want to get into it. So did we watch the football this weekend? I thought it was quite a good weekend. It was fun.
It was a fun weekend. Yeah.
You must be happy, John.
Yeah, I got very wet, but yes, it was it was a good weekend.
Keep it clean now, John. Keep it clean.
It was raining a lot.
Okay. Fair enough. I knew you'd be happy about the result, but I didn't think that happy.
Pretty happy.
Overall, I was pretty happy with our result, I suppose. We didn't look great, but we can maybe talk about that later. I won't dig into it right now. But a point and a draw was ultimately good.
Yeah, I agree.
Good result for us. Right, so I was thinking this week, because we have a lot to talk about, we would focus on maybe the teams that have new managers / are getting new managers, because we had official announcements for 2 managers today. So we could particularly pay attention to them, and then we'll do a quick rundown of the rest of the league and then move on from there with whatever extra time we have, because we have a couple of other stories that we might like to cover as well tonight. So here we go. Nice little graphic I put together. So the managers, teams that need new managers. First up, we have Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough versus Oxford. Anyone want to remind the score there?
Shoot, I didn't have
1-1 draw. Yes.
1-1.
So that was a pretty good result for Oxford, in fairness. Middlesbrough would be hoping for better, obviously, at the top of the table. But that hurt them a little bit with chasing Coventry, who they actually play next. So that will be an interesting one there. And when we look at the table, or when we talk about it, we'll see why. But first, sticking with the match, what did you guys think? Bad result for Middlesbrough, yeah?
I think yes, on the whole, but Oxford were winning, weren't they? Going into, I'm not sure when Middlesbrough equalised. I have a sneaky feeling it was not late on, but later on in the game. So yeah, a point away from home when you're in a losing position, I suppose. Yeah, you take it, but in hindsight, you'd say it's a poor result.
Yeah, I agree. It not when you're sitting on top of the table, you expect to win every game, especially when you're playing a team that's down towards the bottom. That being said, I think a point away is always good. So I don't know. It was away, wasn't it, or were they at home? Were they at home?
They were away. So that helps a little bit.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I saw on your graphic it had it made it look like they were home.
Yeah, I actually just picked out the teams that without the managers on the left. I didn't do it home.
Yeah,
anyway.
Gotcha.
I probably should have.
That's okay. That just threw me off. I had to guessing myself.
Okay, so Oxford scored with Harris at 28 minutes, and then Middlesbrough drew with Whittaker at 54 minutes. So it wasn't as late in the match. Middlesbrough did have 70% possession to 30%. They had 19 shots to 19 shots to 9, and then only one big chance, and they got one goal for a 1-1 draw. As we said, look, not the end of the world. Now, Kim Helberg was not in charge of the match. He has just been announced. He is not taking control yet. And I read on X that he will be taking control for the Derby match. He won't be in charge for the Coventry match either.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
If that information is correct, I believe it is, but I can't guarantee it. So obviously, he does have to come over a bit of a distance. He does have to move over with his team and whatever. Now, there could be potentially a little bit of gamesmanship in this. Is why not let him slide an extra day or two so he doesn't have to take on top of the table and potentially suffer a loss in his very first match? Because what can he do in 2 days? Let's say he flew in instantly and had all his management team with him and just went in to meet the boys immediately. Even if he could do one half session with him pre-match, it's not going to do anything anyway. So the result is not really going to be his. Now, I know once you're in charge, you take the wins and losses. It is what it is. But in one way, it might be nice not to potentially start with a loss. Not saying that that's what happened. It could simply be travel from European clubs and stuff. Arranging that can take a few days.
So let me, so I'm just curious what your guys' opinion on it is. Why would you announce him today if you didn't plan on having him take the team on Tuesday?
I think there was a delay in work permit, wasn't there, which has delayed the appointment essentially. So I think it's just pure coincidence that it's the soonest possible time they've been able to name him.
So everybody knew he was coming in,
right? Yeah.
But I wasn't aware of that particularly delaying it. But yeah, that would make sense. That is the first absolute official time when everything is signed and done. And they did wait instead of kind of officially. Now, I know you do with players, you kind of announce your new signing and then you say pending paperwork. But with a manager, obviously, it would be a massive deal if something went wrong with paperwork. And you wouldn't want to have announced that and then had to kind of turn around on it. I know that's unlikely to happen.
I think it's also a bit smart in the way that, like you said, he's not going to be in charge for the game against Coventry, but I'm sure he'll be there.
He'll be here around.
Yeah, he'll be around. So, of course, the players will be essentially auditioning for their positions because the new manager's going to be in the crowd. So, yeah, bit of gamesmanship there, I think.
Yeah.
And go on, Aaron.
No, I was just fair enough. I just thought it was odd. To me, I'd almost say I'll just save it till after, because if you lose, then you can, you gotta, we got our guy. Forget that loss we just had. Let's announce our new coach the next day.
Now, the only reason, another reason why I would potentially say maybe there's a little bit of gamesmanship in it is if you look at the next two matches that he will be in charge of, Derby and Hull. There is pretty decent reason to believe they could win both of those.
I mean, yeah, but I'll tell you what,
no guarantees. It's championship.
Neither one of them have been bad. I mean, Derby's on a
they're not bad. Yeah,
they're on a hell of a run, and
but Middlesbrough in second.
And yeah, I know.
Middlesbrough in second.
But, I mean,
they're not down the table.
Yeah, but I think if you're looking at form teams in the league, I think probably Birmingham, Derby, and maybe Ipswich, maybe, and Coventry, obviously. Coventry's beating everybody.
I think Middlesbrough's form at the moment is pretty much mid-table-ish.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah.
Right.
It's been dropping a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It won't be they won't be any easy games for sure. It wouldn't surprise me if Derby beat them. And Hull just it just depends on who shows up.
Depends on the day, yeah.
I mean they do crazy things. Like sometimes they're just really bad, and then sometimes they're really good.
I have a question because of course Middlesbrough are unbeaten at home this season.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm assuming we're all probably thinking Coventry go there and win, which if they do, who are the remaining teams which are unbeaten at home, or are Middlesbrough the last one? I generally have no idea.
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know.
I was thinking Coventry, maybe. I can't remember.
Preston? Has Preston been beat at home?
Yeah, we beat them at home.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Shit. That's a good question. Is there anybody? I don't remember. Yeah, it might be the last team actually. Oh no, I don't.
Okay. Have Coventry lost at home this season?
Oh shit! They've only lost 1, 2. How many have they lost? They lost to us. We were the first team to beat them. Has anybody beat them since we beat them?
No.
So no.
No, they've only one loss. Yeah.
Yeah, they only got the one.
So no, they haven't lost at home either. Okay, so with regards to that match, because we're speaking about it now, it is extremely relevant to the table. As it stands, Coventry are in the lead with 37 points, Middlesbrough second with 30. Now, if Coventry pull off the win for 3 points, that puts them on 40. Middlesbrough will remain at 30, 10-point gap between first and second, which is significant, obviously. But then following up behind them, you have Stoke City on 27, who are on better goal difference, would leapfrog them if they win their match. And Bristol City and Preston North End are on 26. So they would be right behind them if they were to win and Middlesbrough didn't. Now, obviously, that gap closes if Middlesbrough take it because they're the home team and pull out the win there. It becomes 37-33, which is only 4 points. That's much more manageable, let's say. So big, interesting match there between those two top teams. You do not want the 10-point gap.
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, if they get a 10-point gap, they don't even have to be that good, and you can still get promoted. You know what I mean? Like that's a massive gap. It doesn't feel like it is, but that's a massive gap. Massive.
Yeah, if they go on a run of draws for 5 matches, it's gonna take someone winning 5 matches.
Right, exactly.
To make that difference.
Yeah,
that's not easy to do.
Yeah, and I just can't see them dropping
all those points.
Back
to back.
Right. I mean, they may have a run where they drop, a handful of points in a few games. Maybe they have a poor 4-game run or 5-game run or something, and maybe lose 2 and draw 2 or something, just a blip. But I mean, they've been so good. And the thing is with Cobb, they've been good at everything. They're like the best offensive team. They're the best defensive team, or right up there. I've not checked the stats lately, but they're right at the top of both of those stats. So it's like, how do you, you know what I mean? Like, how do you deal with that? I mean, the only thing I think of, they had to have had just an off day against us. I mean, not to take anything away from our guys. Our guys are fantastic. We played great that day, but I mean, I wasn't blown away by them though. You know what I mean? Is that fair? Like against us, I wasn't like, oh yeah, unbelievable or anything.
I thought they were overconfident against you guys. I think they scored.
Mhm.
I won't say against the run of play, but it was an opportunistic goal that they scored. And I think at 1-0, I think they thought they won the game and they were just going to sort of, roll another team over.
Yeah.
And I think you punched them on the nose and it came as quite a surprise to them.
Yeah, and then we completely gassed at the end of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I have a clip here of Mr. Kim Halberg, just a kind of introductory thing. Let's throw that up and get some little introduction to who he is.
Oh, that one. A lot of energy, positive, working hard, trying to get everyone involved. I worked from the lowest division in Swedish football, that is not the best league in the world, and then worked my way by hard work for 14 years. And then I would say this is my proudest moment. Following my dad, being a head coach for a team called Sylvia, traveling with the bus and seeing his games and being in a football family. So early I grew up wanting to be a manager. Doing the best you can every day to become the best version of yourself, that's the key thing. Controlling the ball, trying to take it back as quick as possible, trying to find the quickest way to score goals. As proud as it can be. This is a big moment for me and been working very hard to be here, and now I'm just looking forward to meet everyone and start working for Borough.
First impressions?
It seems like all right, fella.
Pretty stock answers.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, he seems kind of somewhat genuine answers, though. He didn't try and say anything crazy or stupid or silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he does come across as a manager where it's a big opportunity for him, and I think he comes across as he knows that. So.
Yes. And he's looking forward to it, kind of. You can see the excitement. He's trying to kind of keep in there. I've got this great opportunity, and I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so next match. Right, that is Southampton versus Charlton Athletic. So we do not know what manager is going to take over full time. Currently, it's Tonda Eckert, who has it temporarily. He was the under-21 coach for Southampton, or still is technically. And he has been in charge for 3 matches, and they have won all 3 since they got rid of Still. So that's an interesting one. Does he have any shot of staying in the position? Are they slow rolling the next manager to maybe give him that shot? No one really knows. What do you think?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, the results right now are fantastic, but I mean that could happen with anybody. It doesn't. I mean, you just don't. You don't know. You don't know. Like they seem like a team that were bound to do this anyway. They had that. They had that. Habs threw me off. I know. I still haven't changed the battery of my alarm. Sorry, Habs. I got. I just heard it too. I did. I guess it's one of those things like you hear it and it's like, oh yeah, I gotta do that, and then I forget about it. Anyway, I'll fix it here in a minute. But no, I think it's. I mean, as long as he's getting results. I mean, I beat the hell out of Nathan Jones 5-1. Can't be that bad of a guy, right?
Yeah, we didn't see any like laps of the pitch and celebrations and antics from Nathan Jones. I don't know why.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah.
I have a clip for this one.
Oh, lovely.
I have a clip for this one. Okay, so then you can see the next 3 matches here. So this is an interesting one for Mr. Eckert, if they are considering keeping him or not. Leicester City, Millwall, and Birmingham in the next 3. So they are currently between 7th and 10th. So nicely in the upper mid, chasing playoff teams. 3 of them back to back. This will show where the team is and how well he is basically taking the team and pushing them, and what his kind of tactics are like. Do we think Southampton is going to pull off, or let's ask a straight question: how many points is he going to get in the next 3 matches? Now, assuming he's still in charge, and of course a new manager can come in at any time, so let's leave that caveat there. But as the team is playing now, with Leicester, Millwall, and Birmingham,
I'm not sold on him yet. I'm not convinced that it's just going to turn around that quick. I think that's a tough run of fixtures. They've definitely got the players that can do it, but I don't think I'd be surprised. Let's put it this way: I'd be really surprised if he continues winning. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean it's the new manager bounce, but it doesn't last forever. You know what I mean? So at some point it's going to come crashing down, and I don't think I mean, as much as they look like, I mean, the stats back up that they've been pretty good this season. It's just they weren't getting the goals. Basically, is really what it came down to, and but they were doing everything else right. But I'm not. I don't think I don't think it's just going to flip on a switch like that, and they're just going to continue winning. I think reality he'll get a reality check soon enough, and then we'll see how he does. See how he handles it.
So Southampton is in 16th with 21 points. Expectations are really high for that team. They need points. They can't sit around with just some basic points. But looking at those teams, 5 points would be a good result. Win 2 draws.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Would 4 be acceptable?
Probably not. I mean, I think I'll go against Aaron. I think they could win those 3 games. Being honest, you got Leicester and us both at home for Southampton. Millwall away. I'm not convinced by Millwall, especially at home this season. And if they play like they did against Charlton, the attacking football, there's no reason why they can't win all 3 of those games. I think the big one will be Leicester. That will be the first game. That'll be the one where you'll see whether this Southampton side is for real. Because I think there was a lot of contributing factors to why they absolutely battered Charlton. I think Charlton played completely into their hands. I think the style of play was just perfect for Southampton. I think Leicester will be a very good test for Eckhart and Southampton to see where they are. If they come through Leicester and kind of brush them aside 2-3-0 or 3-1 or something like that, but are comfortable, then I think then you'd say, what is it? Then it'll be 4 wins on the bounce, and then you'd say they go rocking over to Millwall, and you wouldn't be surprised if they roll them over, and then I'll be hiding behind the sofa when they play us. So.
Okay, so I promised a little clip for this one. So let me find it here. Now, anyone with sensitive little ears, turn away for a second. I thought you might like that one.
Oh shit!
There was a great photo or still that I saw on social media on the weekend after they had lost, and it basically just had Nathan Jones just staring at the pitch. It was just like, if there was ever a young child that's toy has just been like taken off and confiscated, that was the look he had on his face. It was just brilliant.
Did you see I don't even remember what it was. It was some sort. I don't know if it was an interview or what, but he was talking about dropping down to League One. He said, "I showed no what do you say? No pride or no something like that. Like by dropping down to League One." I was like, "Shut the fuck up this fucking guy. I wanted to smack him. I saw it the other day. I can't remember what it was on. I need to find it, but it was just like, God, I hate him.
He did in his before that game. He was on Sky and he did an interview with Prutton and that in the Sky Studios, and he made a point of saying he was in a lucky position where he said, "I wasn't desperate for work, so I got to pick my next opportunity."
Mm-hmm.
I thought, well, I don't think so, mate. You still had to go for an interview and sell yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't actually, you didn't interview Charlton as a, So yeah, he's just a egotistical twat. So
okay. So has anybody watched any interviews from Tonda Eckert?
Nope.
Okay, so this is just a quick clip after the match on the pitch interview, and wait for it. All right.
Very proud. I mean, if you see our away section today, I think it was absolutely outstanding, and unfortunately we didn't manage to score a goal on their end, but I think they still had a nice trip.
I like that. That was quite funny because obviously, if anybody doesn't know, all 5 were scored in the same half, and then there was no more goals. So he's smiling and laughing there, basically saying how bad the other team was, and we should have really scored on the opposite end too.
How old is he? He looks like a younger guy.
He is 32.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so maybe a little young for the top position, which is why he's out. He's taking care of the under-21 team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's see what happens. Potentially, he might have a bright future if a lot of this is him. If he's actually doing a little bit of magic with them. No way to truly know, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think if for him, I mean, if nothing else, just getting his name out there, and if he doesn't end up getting this job, I mean, somebody will be liable to take a chance on him.
Do any of you two feel sorry for Will Still in this? Because I think somebody said the game on the weekend, 7 of the starting 11 were players that he regularly picked and started for him.
Yeah.
And it's like they've just they've won 3 on the bounce. And it's like same players, different results.
Yeah, they're not really doing anything much different.
No.
I don't think either. They're just putting the ball in the net.
Bit of a big difference then, really, but
yeah, probably the biggest difference, I guess.
Okay, so we've had our fun at Nathan Jones' expense. Let's move on. Right, next up then we have Swansea versus Bristol City. Their new manager, Vitor Matos. Now, Vitor has not taken charge just yet, but it is believed he will be in charge for the next match against Derby. So the next 3 matches for them are Derby, West Brom, and Oxford, which are an interesting set of matches. Not the worst set of matches you could get, not the easiest. It is Championship after all. But what was the result for Swansea and Bristol? It was 3-0 or
3-0? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty strong result there as well by Bristol. And we have them next, Bristol, not Swansea. So, what do you want to say about this match? The Bristol Swansea?
Go ahead, John.
It was kind of pretty expected, I think, because I think everyone sort of knows that Swansea seem to have just nosediving at the moment without a manager as well. I think everyone was a little bit surprised they didn't have a manager by this point. And Bristol are on a sneaky run of form at the moment, and I think I did read that they've had horrific injury problems. Bristol, I have no love lost for Bristol, but I did see a few games back, and they were missing some serious amount of first team players. But they're all pretty much back now. I think they were saying that there was just a couple which were missing against Swansea, which I think might be back in contention for you guys. So it's pretty much full strength. It's pretty much a full strength Bristol side. So I wasn't surprised. I think the only thing I was a little surprised about was Bristol scoring 3 goals. They don't strike me as a sort of team that score lots of goals regularly. So, but I think there's warning signs for Swansea because I think they've fallen badly.
Yeah, this is a danger moment for Swansea. because they really need Vitor to kind of turn them around and get them going in the right direction. It won't be very long before they are down near that relegation zone and are actually in danger. So where are they at the moment? They are in 20th on 17 points. Oxford United behind them on 14. Then we hit the relegation with Sheffield United 13. So they're not terribly far off. They're 2 bad matches in a row. Now the next 3 matches, as I said, they're okay matches. They're not the end of the world. What would we expect with a new manager coming in? Obviously, he's not going to be able to do a lot before Derby, but with West Bromwich Albion and Oxford in those 3 matches, how many points should we hope? Well, should they be hoping to get? 4? A win and a draw, a loss?
Might be kind. Might be kind.
I think it can be worse. I mean, what are they asking Vitor for? Like, what would you be wanting as a club? Not what they will get, because they could get nothing. But
yeah,
I think they've got Derby and Oxford at home, haven't they? So the 2 home games. So I think they'll probably target those and probably say, those are the ones you'd like to try and win. Maybe a win and a draw. I'm not sure I don't know, Albion away are a bit of a funny side because they're not on form either. So, but equally, the way Swansea are playing, you could see, Derby are on some good form. I know they lost the weekend, but they're on good form. So you could say they could probably lose that. They might get a point away at Albion, and then you'd have to say realistically, Oxford at home's a must-win, surely.
Yeah. Do we have any idea like what type of manager he is? Is he but I know they like possession-based managers. I mean, obviously he's not been. Has he been the head guy anywhere? Or
yes.
is this has he? Okay.
He has, yeah. Well, why don't we bring him up and see what he has to say in his first little speech?
Why I was so excited to come, because of the fan base, because I think it's a place where that bond should be strong, or the relationship between the fans, the manager, and the team. When this bond is created, it's massive. You can compete against everyone, you can win against everyone, and that's what we need. So we need to start being this team that no one wants to face, and we need to start that by at home being or let's say sacred place, and we need to create that for sure.
So what do we think?
I think Derby's going to beat him 4-0.
His English isn't great.
Yeah,
it's not terrible. It's not terrible. He has the look of someone who doesn't think in English. He is thinking in Spanish or whatever, Portuguese, and then translating. He's not comfortably fluid or close to that sort of level where he can think in the language for what he's saying, which could be a big problem in getting your point across to players. Now, earlier we were saying with the other interview that it was very basic, very, very generic and what have you, but he seemed excited about taking on the role. Here, I think he is taking all the buzzwords that people have said in the past and just throwing them out there with zero substance whatsoever. I know it's an initial thing, so you don't really have time to get into details, but he doesn't strike me as a manager I would be confident in getting across those details either.
They were the sort of answers.
Did you disagree with me?
No, those were the sort of answers you would expect he sort of gave to the board when he was being interviewed almost. I want to create a bond between the fans and the team and blah, blah, blah. And, we want to be, everyone should fear us. Those are the sort of stock answers I would imagine a manager gives to a board of when, you're looking to impress and say all the buzzwords that get them on side. So, yeah. But then again, I think, like you said, the English aspect of it, whether that plays into the delivery of the answers, possibly.
I forgot what I was about to say there now. Sorry.
Swansea going down?
Yes, Swansea could go down. No, I do. I remember what I was going to say. What I was going to say is the one thing that I particularly found issue with is saying that they're going to make the team a team to be feared at home, and this sort of carry on. I'm sorry, we're already 1/3 of the way through the league. It's going to take at least another third to prove that your team is in fantastic form and beating everybody before anybody would even consider them to be like, oh, a bogey team, a danger team that you don't want to play. It's, for me, that's a ridiculous statement because it's a nonsense statement. It's not going to happen. You know, even if you find very good form, push yourself up to mid-table, you're not going to be feared. Like that one for me is particularly, I just don't like it.
And Swansea have never been a team that I would say you would fear.
Anyway,
I remember it. Yeah, I mean, even when they were challenging to go up, and when they came down and stuff, they were a very good footballing side, and you played against them and you thought, yeah, it's going to be a tough game. But I don't think they've ever been in a position where you fear them. You wouldn't go in a game against them and think, oh, God, we could get absolutely battered 4-5 here. They've never been that sort of side for me.
Yeah, very mid-table-ish.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I think they're in trouble.
Okay.
I'm not impressed with him.
Right. So some details here on Vitor Matos. He is 37 years of age. He's from Portugal. He was the manager of Maritimo. And that was, interestingly, from July 2025 until now. So if that's correct, he signed this summer and he has left them now after playing 13 matches for them with results of 7-2-4. Now, I do believe I read earlier that he had a contract release clause that they have to pay out. I think it was 1 million straight to get him out of the clause. And then here we go. You asked, was he a manager? So previous to Maritimo, which was just this summer, he was at Salzburg, and he was an assistant coach.
Yeah.
So not amazing.
Not much. So this is to me. They need I know it's early. What the heck was that? My daughter's upstairs. Oh, it sounded like she knocked over her whole room. I don't know what happened there.
You see your legs come through the ceiling or something.
No, it sounds like. But no. What was I saying? Yeah, he's I know it's early in the season and maybe you don't need a firefighter, but maybe they need a firefighter. Like they're in trouble. Like they got to get this thing turned around. Like I don't think this is the guy you bring in for that.
Am I right in thinking if you say he took over in the summer, so the summer was when he took his first managerial job?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he is still technically in his first season as a manager. So it's a gamble, isn't it? For a team that are in trouble, or a team that look like they're in trouble.
This seems like we lost our manager that we wanted, and it's a oh shit moment. What do we do now? Who can we get without costing us a fortune? And we need someone now. So a few more details here. So Maritimo are second in their league with 23 points. Leaders are on 23 points, but Maritimo have played one more match. They have a couple behind them, chasing them for the top two. But that is in Liga Portugal 2. So it's not the top team, the top league in Portugal. So they've stolen him from a second division league in Portugal for £1 million to bring him into the championship when they're in danger of relegation. This is a very dangerous move.
Yeah. You can't. I mean, I know they were. I understand Middlesbrough probably came in late, and got whatever his name is. Hell, what was it? What was it? Hell something or whatever that guy's name was. But I mean, you could have done better than to get a guy that's got basically no managerial experience when you're playing as bad as they've been playing.
Yeah. So Habs here says Red Bull managers are not known to be good. So that's Red Bull Salzburg. But he wasn't their manager. He was their assistant manager in a second division league.
Do we think he was there? I won't say first choice because he clearly wasn't the first choice.
Yeah.
Do we think he was the second choice, or do you think actually? I mean, because to me, his experience and where he's come from and everything, to me that suggests he possibly is like, I would see that as like a third or fourth choice almost. I would struggle to understand that, they've gone for the guy that's gone to Middlesbrough. Oh right, he's our plan B. It's like, well, if that's your plan B, Christ, what's your plan C?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for all we know, maybe plan B turned him down. Maybe we just don't know who that was. Maybe they may have asked them and they may have got it. Nah, we're good.
I mean, hey, he might turn out to be a burning success, but it feels a bit shit or bust.
So let me ask you this, just kind of on the point that I made there. Do you think, obviously it's early in the season, you don't necessarily need a firefighter, but is this the time you make obviously in this situation, if you're thinking long term, we assume they're thinking long term with this appointment. Let's say they get relegated. Do they fire him? Because to me it's like that. You're putting him in a bad position. Now, granted, they're not in the relegation zone yet, but they're it's not like they're far off it. They've been playing horribly. To me I mean, obviously it's a risk, but it's just like long term, like what do you do? Are you okay with, this is our guy and we're going with it, whether he gets relegated, whether he keeps us up, whatever. See what I'm saying? Like this, to me, this is, if you're going to make this type of bring this guy in, you bring him in at the beginning of the summer and give him a window. Let him do, let him get his guys in. Let him, give him a fair crack at it. Because right now you're throwing him in like, you're just throwing him in the deep end and be like, here you go.
I was going to say, I think if we're being honest, you say, do they stick with him if they get relegated? I think if we're being honest with ourselves, I don't think he gets the opportunity. I think if they're looking like they're going to get relegated, I think he gets the boot before that.
Yeah. That's basically what I was going to say as well, is that he won't last this season if they're getting relegated. He won't make it to the end of the season. But he might not have to do a massive amount to keep his job, but he needs to keep them safe and far enough away that they're not precariously sitting on the lip. And that might balance itself out. Come January, you may have two worse teams that are almost certain to be the extra two joining Sheffield Wednesday. But at the moment, we just have a couple of really good teams down around it who, if by January they have moved up the table and it looks like they're clearly going to keep moving towards mid-table, you may then only have four teams that look in danger of going down. And then you're in real trouble because you're saying, okay, only one of us is going to escape. Now, Sheffield Wednesday's down, but a fight between three teams and you're not doing well, at some point they'll pull the trigger. They'll have to. Even if at that point it's giving it to an assistant manager or somebody else at the club saying, okay, you've got to take over. We got to try and stop this. It's not working with him.
Be ironic if they did do that, because of course the guy they just sacked was the assistant last season, which they brought in, gave a chance to. He did okay. They gave the job to. It'd be vicious circle.
But further from what you said there about when you do this, you do it in the summer. I think they were ready to do this because they absolutely thought they had Hellberg nailed on. They had their man, they had discussions. He was agreeable to come over. And by all accounts, it was, agreed in principle. And then other teams got wind that he's available, that he's willing to come over. And it becomes a much easier conversation to jump in and say to him, look, do you really want them? Our squad is much, much better. We'll pay you a bit more as well, which at his level, coming from Europe, he wouldn't have been on crazy money. Okay money, but Middlesbrough could absolutely afford to put 40% on top of his wages. That's a hefty chunk.
Yeah.
That's and then they got screwed over by Middlesbrough. They got completely sideswiped.
Nothing against him. To me, that's an interesting hire too. I mean, being second in the league, I'm surprised that they didn't go for a proven championship guy that's gotten out. You know what I mean? Because surely they could have got somebody that was, really good. Now, obviously, they've done their homework on this guy, and a lot of people think he's got, a lot of upside, and he probably does. I got no reason to believe he don't. But it's just, that's the Middlesbrough, the fact that they were in second place and they went with a relatively unknown guy. You know what I mean? Is interesting. But back to Swansea, I know it's tough to, you miss out on your main guy, but I mean, surely apparently, they had this guy lined up. I mean, they obviously weren't completely off guard, but it's just, I don't know. I don't love it. I just think it's a strange appointment for me in the situation. You know what I mean? In the situation we're in, I think it's really strange.
Yeah, I wonder how many different European players they had in mind. Because if they've kind of jumped to this guy, Matas, they must have been scouring all the leagues up and down to see what managers have potential. And maybe as well, part of it was to do with cost saving. Can we get in a decent manager from Europe that's not going to cost us an absolute fortune? With a load of experience. And then when they lost their main guy, okay, we have scouted all these other guys. Maybe what he does on the pitch is noticeable, because obviously they've scouted how he plays and what he does with his teams. He may actually be a half decent coach, but just not have a body of work yet. And we all know then in this scenario, when there's such little evidence of his work, is it the players? Or is it the coach? Or is it a bit of both? It's kind of, what do you do? He's at the top of his league, even though it's a weak league, which in theory says he's got a good team. Now you're jumping up levels of leagues and quality and coming to the championship to a weak team just based on results, who maybe don't have the mentality at the moment, it appears, to stand up and be counted. And then you bring this manager in, does he inspire confidence? Versus Hellberger? Now, we've only seen a tiny amount of Hellberger, but like between the two of them, who would you have more confidence in?
Yeah, he strikes me. He's clearly a philosophy manager in the sense of, I think, if you mentioned, he's not a firefighter manager. So, if they were looking for somebody to come in and steady the ship and just basically steer them away from relegation, they wouldn't go for this guy. They'd go for somebody that knows the league. So he's clearly been brought in with he obviously adheres to the same philosophy that the ownership and probably a possession-based blah, 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 which is fine. But it's kind of like that's risky to bring in now, because the previous manager who they just sacked, all right, he wasn't completely possession based. He was a little bit of both, but was a little bit more, shall we say, streetwise. It's a big risk. It really is it in the position that, it's not like they're mid table. It's not like they're 14th, not going to go up, not going to go down. It's they're right smack bang in the middle of a relegation battle, and is an untried and untested manager in this country, let alone this division, to come in and introduce a philosophy and a way to play and all that. That's Yeah, well, it's either going to sink or swim, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I mean, especially when you look at some of the teams down there in the relegation zone. You look at Sheffield United, which, yeah, they struggled this season, but you do feel like they're going to manage to get their way out of it. Norwich have been terrible, and they may go down. But I mean, they could. I mean, Swansea could end up in it. I mean, they're in a mess right now. So yeah, I'm very surprised at the move. But I mean, like you said, Paddy, he may end up being a great manager. You know what I mean? It may work out great. We don't know, but it does seem like more of a risk. This type of appointment. So.
Okay, so you mentioned Norwich, and next up we have the match between Norwich and Birmingham for Mr. Philippe Clement. Okay, I've done something incorrect here because I have Birmingham again, so I messed up my next three matches for this one.
We don't mind. We don't mind playing them twice.
Okay, so let me fix that here. Fixtures. Right, next up they have Oxford, then QPR, then Watford. So, okay. Right, so they're not terrible matches to come up against. But first, I suppose, before we talk about that, how was the match, John?
They were awful. Let me rephrase that. Defensively, they were awful. Midfield, they looked okay in possession, and Sargent looked, he looked a handful and he was a threat up front. The problem was they just couldn't get the ball consistently enough in the final third. But after watching that game, I'm generally worried for them because defensively, and by all accounts, they were I think they were only missing potentially one of their fullbacks. I think it was they had somebody playing out of position at left fullback, I think it was. Oh no, sorry, right fullback. They just looked so poor, and the attitude of the players, it was they gave up. It went to 3-1, and they just kind of stopped playing. They almost, or not. I wouldn't say they didn't care, but just the body language. They didn't chase runners. There was no desire. There was no fight in them. We could just essentially just walk past them half the time. I was actually really surprised how poor they were, considering it was the manager's first game, and you would expect a reaction. All right, you're not going to get sort of suddenly going to turn up and look like Barcelona, but you would expect a bit of fight and a bit of passion. But without trying to sound daft, we should have been 3-0 up after about 5 minutes. We had we did score in the third minute, but we should have scored in the first minute. We had a really glorious chance. We scored the goal, and then we should have. Dutch missed an absolute sitter, I think, realistically, minutes after that. And then we should have had a penalty not far after that. And you just can't, if that had been 4-0 after 15 minutes, it would have been deserved because they were really bad. So, I have to say, I was really surprised, actually. I've got a good friend who's a Norwich fan, and he texted me before the game and he says, "Oh, I can't wait to lose again." And I was like, "Yeah, but I was like, you won't be that bad, new manager, blah, blah, blah." And I messaged him at half time, and I was like, "Sorry, mate, I agree with you. I understand what you mean, though."
Yeah. Back to this comment. I know we kind of have differing views on this. Damn well Sargent is looking for a way out come January. The club won't want to let him go because it'll be dodgy for them. But it can become untenable. If you're a star player and other teams are looking for you and you essentially say, "Look, I want to go," end of. Like, what do you do? Do you keep him? And you'll never say players just won't play, kind of. But at the same time, you can push your way out. Plus, I have also made this argument before. If the whole team is not working together and you have this superstar, okay, you're not getting the ball to the superstar. So what good is it doing you? Right now, I know he's scoring a couple and he's doing okay. So that's one thing. But if you can get rid of that superstar and bring in 3 players, that will actually tidy up holes that you have at the moment. That could potentially be much better for you. than hanging on to this player who's extremely valuable?
I think on the performance I saw on the weekend, I think he's the only one trying. If I'm being honest, he really put a shift in, and he caused us problems without, any gilt-edged chances. Interestingly, they took him off with I think it was about 20 minutes or 15 minutes to go, purely just to protect him. And when he was not happy about coming off. You could tell even though it was 4-1, he was not happy about coming off. But the manager put his arm around him as he came off, and obviously
the game was lost.
And it was kind of like, you could tell it was, we've got 2 huge games coming up. I need you, I don't need you picking up a stupid injury in the last 15 minutes of a dead game. So, no, I mean, I would say if anyone's thrown a towel in, it isn't Josh Sargent at Norwich on that performance.
Did you have a clip for this one, Paddy?
I do. I actually have.
Because I don't want to step on your toes. So I don't know what clip you got, so I'm curious. I got some. So go ahead and, if you want, go ahead and play your clips, because I got some things that kind of refer to some of the stuff that he'd said.
So amazing in Birmingham. Also the second half after a bad performance in the first half.
Sorry, one sec. There we go. Finally, it switched.
So they can have the guarantee for me that I will push really hard here to make everything better and to work really hard with everybody in the building. And with their support, I think there can be a very good period for Norwich to come in the short and middle long term. But we need them. We need them, but the players need to show also. So it's from both sides. Like I said from the beginning, you cannot take things for granted. You need to show things on the pitch also.
Okay, so that's one. And then there's an on-pitch interview that's a bit longer. I'll cut this short.
Of course, I expect much more. For sure, we showed in the first half not enough. The team showed not enough intensity, not enough braveness. You see they lack confidence after the last weeks and the last months, but also physicality. So first half totally for Birmingham with a lot of chances against and goals against. A few times we could come on the other side and be dangerous. We scored a good goal out of that also in the way we trained. Second half was much better, and then we need to build on that, what they showed in the second half. So they show they can do it, but it needs to be more consistent. So second half we had more chances than Birmingham and more shots on target. But of course you need to kill them off also. So a lot of work to do. What I knew, I didn't expect miracles in 3 days, and for sure not when 10 players are out injured. So it's step by step, making it better, every player, the collective, and growing as a team.
Has today given you insight into just the size of the task that you now have?
No, I had insight of that because I saw all the games until now, and there are no secrets. I saw what I saw before, but it doesn't mean that I didn't want the task. So there's a massive task, a very big one, but I'm also very confident that with the amount of time we're going to need, that we're going to get where we need to be.
Conceding so early today, what does that do to the mindset of a team and to your plan?
That's always the worst thing, but maybe it took away some confidence with some players. Good that in the second half and maybe after the talk in halftime, you can change that again, because second half they showed, even when we were so much behind, that they kept on going and that they stayed in the game and created enough chances and defended also much better as a team.
So, for me, I respond to that. I think that's fair point, very straightforward, and he's very understandable in what he's saying. Seems honest.
He's talking utter crap, mind.
Okay, go on.
I understand what he means by this. They were better second half. Yes, they were better after we scored the fourth, and it was 4-1, and they were absolutely dead and buried. And we went, oh, okay, let's sit back because the game's over now. So we took our foot completely off the gas. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they had a few corners and they had a few crosses. They weren't very good though. I wouldn't necessarily sit there and go they weren't for me as the eye test goes, they weren't noticeably better in the second half than they were first half. The difference was in the first half, we actually just went for them. In the second half, the game was won. So yeah, he's doing the typical managerial thing of trying to build a positive out of something. I can say I think even a lot of Norwich fans have said online that this narrative that he's trying to push that they were far better second half is a bit ludicrous, because they weren't. To be honest, it was just we sat back.
But I will say, in fairness, Parky does the same thing. Because especially remember that this is an on-pitch interview after you've just been hammered. He did come out and he did kind of say, okay, lots of things need to improve. They were poor and stuff like this. But then he did kind of make it better. He massaged it afterwards so that he can go into the dressing room, talk to the players, and not have them go home that night, watch this interview and say he's an asshole. It's a balancing.
There's two things from him that I find concerning.
Okay.
Two things. It was the first one. He's come out and done the old tried and tested. The players are not fit enough, which is always a warning sign whenever a new manager comes out and says that. And the other thing is, he has, as we heard there, I've watched all the games this season. Well, if you've watched all the games this season, I'm sorry, but you know what an utter car crash defender Shane Duffy is, because he has been awful for Norwich this season. Yet you started him in the game and he was awful again, and probably at fault for 2, maybe 3 of the goals. So you've watched every game this season and played a defender which has been absolutely shocking, but you still played him.
So that was, you just touched on one of my point. What my point I wanted to talk about. He obviously he's brought up the fitness, and they're not fit enough, and they're he's got to get that turned around. I can't remember which interview it was he said it, but I did watch when he first came in. Norwich released like a 12-minute video of his first day. Well, the first things they did, bleep test. Let's run the piss out of these guys. So I can't imagine being a player that's been getting the shit kicked out of you. Then we bring in a new manager and he comes in. Let's put these guys through bleep tests mid-season. Couple days after a game, and then now he's saying, "Oh, they're not fit enough." So to me that means he's going to run the dick out of them to try to build up some, because he's going to want. He's a high pressing. He's going to want. He's a type of manager that's going to want those guys to run hard, and I don't think they're going to respond well. I think this is going to be a disaster, and I think they're in trouble. Yeah, I think they're in trouble.
Do you want to hear something funny regards that bleep test that he ran? There was one player in the entire Norwich squad that completed that bleep test. The rest didn't. There was one player. He was on the bench on the weekend. Really? Didn't even get on the pitch. So the one player that supposedly completed your bleep test, which is the fitter one, didn't even get on the pitch, even though even all the Norwich fans said he's a midfielder and they were lacking energy and mobility in midfield. The one player that apparently passed your bleep test, you didn't use. Okay then.
Yeah. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to have trouble. I think he's they're in trouble. So
okay. So that is the first 4 matches that I wanted to bring up because I thought they were interesting. And then next thing is just the table in general. So maybe I'll try and bring this up if I can do it between screens. Let's see. Share screen. Okay, I'll do it a different way. Let's share this and then I'll change this. Okay, here we go. So let's start down the bottom because we're down there with these guys. Now. Okay. So Sheffield Wednesday, dead and buried. We all know that. Let's not worry about them too much. Then in 23rd, we have Norwich City on 9 points, which is not great. They are now getting a small gap to Sheffield United, who are starting to get just a littlest bit of form with a draw and a win in the last two. And they have Portsmouth next, which is not a terribly good team. They are down in 19th as well, in line for potentially getting pulled in to this relegation battle as well. So Norwich have Oxford. So they are all in around this bottom. This is going to be a really interesting 2 matches here for the bottom of this table. Norwich playing Oxford 23rd versus 21st, and then Sheffield United 22nd versus 19th. So very, very interesting in this next match. So we're worried about Norwich because obviously 9 points is ridiculous at this point. It really is, like 16 matches for a team with their quality. I don't understand that. Like, what? The players aren't that bad. Surely they're not. Are they?
I think they might be. I think I'll be honest. I think their transfer business in the summer has been poor. They paid a lot of money they brought in a lot of foreign players from other leagues, and I think, hey, they may turn out to be good players. I just think they've really struggled to adapt to the league, and I think a lot of Norwich fans say there's one, maybe two of the signings which have actually looked like they can hold their own in this division. The rest of them just haven't. Yeah, I like I said earlier, I'm fairly concerned for them. I really am, because I can see them losing to Oxford. I really can.
That would put them 8 points from safety. They lose that game, they're 8 points from safety.
Sorry, who's this?
Norwich. They lose against
Oxford. Right.
They're 8 points from safety. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Oxford would be the team they'd have to catch.
Yeah.
I mean, if you, I think a lot of the Norwich fans are saying they've got Oxford at home and QPR at home is the next 2 fixtures, and normally you'd say, great, you've got 2 teams in around you, you're at home. What more can you want? The thing is, they've not picked up a point at home all season, not one. And now you've got to go into arguably 2 of your biggest games of the season at home where you've not picked up a point, and realistically, you've got to win them both. It's a big ask.
Yeah. I think they're in trouble. I think they're in real trouble.
Okay, so who is actually going to go down? Are we all in agreement that Sheffield United will escape? Plenty of time left. They will slowly build up their points and will move up the table. Anyone disagree with that?
I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that they will.
Of course, nothing
I
is. Yeah.
I do still think Wilder will get something figured out. They'll get up the table. You know what I mean? I think they'll get clear.
But
yeah,
they probably will get clear at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think they'll get it figured out.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't really see them getting above 17th, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, probably not.
I see them improve, and I think they'll survive, but not going to go on a huge run.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so then moving up the table, Oxford not playing fantastic. They're in danger of going down. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Swansea City, new manager.
They may be the team. This disappointment could be the thing that takes them down. This could absolutely destroy their season. I'm not impressed. I would be. It's risky.
It's a big enough risk. Yeah. Okay, then Portsmouth. Do we still think they're a relegation potential team? Yeah. Okay. Blackburn. Are they looking like surviving now? I think they're starting to show some form.
Definitely got some good form. Good form. Yeah. I just don't know. It's strange. It seems like his form came from nowhere, though. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're doing. Like, I don't know. They're a weird one. I still don't think I don't think they can be comfortable yet. Let's put it that way.
I don't think they're particularly good as a team, but the one thing I think I would separate them from the teams below them is that they are capable of winning games.
Yeah.
Not necessarily consistently, but winning.
Mhm.
They are capable of putting a couple of results together. Whereas I think everyone below them, I'm not sure I see that in them.
Yeah. And they're capable of doing it against some of the best teams.
Yeah.
So on their day, they're still capable of putting in a performance that will take out one of the better teams.
So they got Sheffield
randomly.
United. Yeah. They got oh no, sorry, that's Portsmouth. Never mind. My bad.
Yeah.
I was talking out of my ass. That's
Okay,
a big
so
game though. Portsmouth, Sheffield United, that's a big game.
Right. Is this kind of the cutoff line then, West Brom? Then they're not going down, are they?
I wouldn't think so. I think they're probably okay. They're not bad.
Yeah, Southampton on the way up. They're cool. Then you got QPR, ourselves, Charlton on the way down. Any shot that Charlton keeps sliding?
I think they'll continue
Probably
to
not.
drop. I think they'll drop further,
Yeah,
but I don't.
But not that far.
No, in credit to that little shite at Charlton, the form and the points total they've got at the first, first chunk of the season is probably going to keep them up.
Yeah,
because it's enough. They've got enough sort of leeway in the bank.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, so then before we hit the top of the table and discuss the upper half, just to finish it off, why don't we cover the two Sheffields and their match? And I do have a clip to show from that. So Sheffield Wednesday. When I first saw that result, I actually thought it was Sheffield Wednesday had beaten Sheffield United 3-0. And my heart was all aglow. And then I was like, oh, shit. Okay, so 3-0, pretty comfortable performance by Sheffield United. Campbell at 11 minutes, 48 minutes, and then Cannon at 90+1 just to finish it off. Interestingly, Sheffield Wednesday had 60% of the ball, and Sheffield United had only 40%. Total shots 11 versus 5, big chances 6 versus 0 in the match. Anybody watch the highlights?
I actually watched the game.
You watched the full game, okay?
Yeah, I did stupidly. I don't know why, but I did. I thought the scoreline, it's going to sound daft, the scoreline didn't flatter Sheffield United because I think Sheffield Wednesday were quite poor. But I didn't think much of Sheffield United either. I didn't sort of come out of that game going, oh, well, Sheffield United are going to climb out of this and they're going to be fine because they've won 3-0. It's like, all right, you basically just beat up the small kid in the school. You didn't do anything impressive. I felt for Sheffield Wednesday. They're just clearly not good enough. Campbell took his goals well. I would say that there are a couple of two well taken goals. But yeah, it was a bit of a nothing game really. It was a typical derby game, but I didn't sort of sit back and go, that Sheffield United side look vastly improved to the last time I saw them. They pretty much looked the same. The only difference was they had an opposition who, to be honest, just didn't have a chance. To be fair.
Yeah, I think it's it's Wednesday. I mean, you beat Wednesday, so what? But it is a derby game, and I think the fact that they beat them 3-0, I think that might be something you can gain confidence from that. I mean, I think that's a good confidence builder, and they definitely, God knows, they need it. So I think I think United can probably they may get some form out of this. You know what I mean? It may lead to something. A little bit of a run here. Like I said, they've got Portsmouth next, so that's a big game. That's a game they're going to want to win. I think this game may mean nothing, but at the same time, it could. I think it could lead to a big, maybe a turnaround, maybe not a big turnaround, but a turnaround for them where they gain some form and get moving.
Okay, so clip. Let's watch this.
Those who just got a second on the chin. Yeah, I'm not sure about all those celebrations, but Sheffield United were the favourites to come and win today with the squad they've got and the situation Sheffield Wednesday are in. I thought we played really well. I thought we took the chances well. Strikers came on and made an impact, and good performance.
He looked really happy doing that, didn't he? Like getting pushed over by his manager. Go and wave to the crowd, celebrate this big win. Is it a bit much, considering Sheffield United should be beating Sheffield Wednesday, as Josh Windass on the comms there said? Or is this just the manager doing everything he can to try and scrape any bit of positivity?
I think there is a backstory to that, because that's Tom Cannon, and Tom Cannon has had an awful time at Sheffield United, and the Sheffield United fans have absolutely battered him for his performances. So to me, that's a manager trying to do a bit of a, trying to build up the guy's spirits and say, go and celebrate with the fans, you've scored against the enemy, sort of thing, build a relationship up there. And I think he realizes that, he scored, but it took a wicked deflection, and he has been utter crap for them since they've signed him for big money too. But the celebrations thing was, I'm torn on the celebrations, because you should always celebrate any victory, and if it's against your hated rivals, no matter how crap they are, you milk it for everything it's worth. I can't honestly sit in front of you now and saying, if the roles were reversed and we beat Villa and they were on their arses and we beat them 3-0 at their place, I'd be saying we're doing laps of the pitch with flags and everything. We'd be milking it for all it's worth. So yeah.
But then isn't there a bit of a team unity problem here, that he wasn't willing kind of to do it? You're out on the pitch already. Why are you being pushed over by your manager?
I think he's just embarrassed because he's been so poor for them.
Yeah. I could see that. I could go for that.
I
just didn't want to do it. Yeah.
In all honesty, Kyogo for us had a similar thing. We won a game, I think it was the Millwall game. Obviously, he hadn't scored anything. He missed another sitter, and the fans pushed him in front of the players pushed him in front of the fans to give the cheers and stuff like that. And he looked extremely embarrassed, to the point that actually he sort of put his hands up and apologized to the crowd, where you could tell he was like, I don't deserve to be doing this because I've done nothing. Basically, I think it's a bit similar to Tom Cannon. He was kind of like, well, it was a deflection, and so.
Yeah.
Okay, so question here, and that is Barry Bannon. Will he look for an exit in January rather than relegation? No. If he didn't leave in this summer, he's not leaving.
No.
Maybe next summer. But he's getting older. He probably still won't go, but it would be next summer with the relegation that he would leave if he wanted to. I don't think so. I think he's staying until he's done. Now the new owners may not want him, but I think you could find some role for him. He appears to be an absolute team player and could help with the transition to a new team. John, agreed? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. It's John going now. I thought it was you.
No, John had dropped out. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Okay. So then a little bit of talk on Sheffield Wednesday, seeing as we're here. Not much of an update, except that it was released that there is 12 interested parties in submitting bids for the club that have done the paperwork to show that they have the available funds required to purchase the club. To my recollection, it was 50 million in liquid cash that they had to provide evidence that they had it available in order to A, purchase the club, and then B, have funds in order to run it for a period of time. So it seems like there's a lot of people interested there. But the announcement said that in the near future, they are hoping to go exclusive.
Yeah, I think they said, I think it was December 7th. I think they put a date on it. I think they said like by December 7th, they wanted to have a preferred bidder, I think was how they put it. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I mean, that's pretty quick, really. Quicker than I thought it may have happened. But yeah.
Yeah, it is. But it looks like then, can they get it done between, let's say, December 7th-ish? Because if that's the winner, let's say, and now you have to do all the paperwork, the due diligence, and you have to get them put forward to the EFL for their director's test, whatever it's called these days, and get all that done, they may just scrape into the January window. Now, of course, discussions have to be had as to what they're allowed to do with players. But the fact that other teams are in a window would be good for even getting loans or, you know, anything else that's available, free transfers, stuff like that. They should be allowed to do, even though they may or may not still have restrictions on purchasing players. I'm not sure what they can do with that, or if they're willing to remove it because it's new owners or not. But either way, getting in ahead of the January window would be good and preferable, so that they can have control and make a couple of decisions.
Yeah, that'd be, I mean, I think that's obviously ideal. I think that's probably the reason for the quick turn, why they're trying to get it done quickly, so they can have, you know, have a window of some sort. I know they said they were allowed to sign, right now they were allowed to sign some free agents.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, obviously that'll continue in January. I mean, who knows as far as, I mean, I think do they have a transfer ban? Like, do they have
They do
ban
currently.
Okay.
I believe so.
So that'll be interesting to see if that lasts, or if
that should be next summer as well.
Right. So that'll be, you know,
yeah,
so maybe
can they get it removed because of all the debts paid and new owners?
Right. Yeah.
Personally, I think they should. I don't have any particular issue with removing those once you have a new owner and new funds provided and stuff like this and debts paid off. I think you should give them a start, you know, a fresh start. I mean, so we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting.
Esteban, I wonder if Wednesday is looking at Owen O'Connell.
They did sign Liam Cooper, didn't they? The ex Leeds defender, which was I was quite shocked by that, to be fair.
Okay, so that's the bottom of the table covered. Will we hit the top, and then we're kind of caught up? Then now let's change that to the top. Okay. Right, so we already spoke about the very tippy top, Coventry versus Middlesbrough, and how tight that is. Their match against each other next is going to be really interesting. Then we have Stoke City on 27, Bristol City 26, Preston 26, Hull 25, and that is the end of the promotion section. But then you have Millwall also on 25, and then just behind them, Ipswich Town 24 with a game in hand, Birmingham City 24, Leicester City 24, and that's down to 10th place. So that's easily runners to try and get into the playoffs. And then even continuing, it's not that far out, where we have Watford 23, Derby 23, Charlton Athletic 23, Wrexham 22, and QPR 22. So that's adding another 5 on top as well, who are all within striking distance there. Just 3 points outside of equaling the bottom of that promotion potential spot. So tight, and it's getting even tighter because we dropped the spot. We had a draw, and we're still closer now than we were last week.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was looking at that today, like how tight it is in that group. I mean, who knows? This thing could go so many different ways. Just a couple bad weeks, and you could be sitting in 16th. You go from 5th to 16th. Just 3 bad games. Where you maybe lose 2 and draw 1, and next thing you know, you're in trouble. It's crazy. It's a championship, I guess. I mean, we're sitting in 14th and we're 3 points off the playoffs. So, it's crazy.
John, Birmingham, next 3 matches. Do you know them off the top of your head?
Yep.
Okay. What we got?
We got West Brom away, Watford at home, and then Southampton away, I think it is.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so next 3 matches, enough to push you into the playoffs?
Well, the 2 away games are the concern because our away form is not great. We do need to turn that around. I fancy us at home against absolutely everyone at the moment, I'll be honest. So the Watford at home, while I think that'll be a good game and it'll be a tough game, I do fancy us at home. I do sneakily fancy us against the Baggies. I'm not going to lie. I just think their manager's under a little bit of pressure. They are not particularly in great form. They just threw away a 2-goal lead to lose 3-2 on the weekend. I do. I have a sneaky feeling I do fancy us to go there and nick something, or I say nick something, but beat them. The Southampton away does worry me. I won't lie.
Tough.
But at the moment that looks really tough. But their next 2 fixtures, like we looked at earlier, with them having sort of Leicester, and I forget who the other one was. It will tell us a lot where they are by the time that comes around. So I would say 6 points out of the next 3 is a bare minimum for us.
Okay. Yeah, that's again with this league can be tough potentially, but you should be achieving it. And that potentially will push you closer. 6 points out of 9. You might be right on the doorstep if you haven't slipped into it at that point.
I'll be brutally honest. If the Birmingham team that's played at the home game, shall we say, the last 3 home games, if that Birmingham team starts turning up away from home, then we will be a real threat to the top end of this division, because our attacking line has just found its mojo, to be honest.
Okay. Then for us, we have Bristol City up next at home. We have Blackburn at home, and then we have Preston away. So that Bristol City is obviously a tough match, even though we're at home. We have our injuries that we really don't know if they'll be back for the next match or not. We're not quite sure. How long is Moore going to be out for? So that's a dodgy one. Kakache as well. Kakache, I believe, should be coming back relatively soon by all discussion on it, but no one is kind of quite sure how soon that is. So hopefully we have at least Kakache back to help liven up our wings for those matches. But that's not an easy run of matches. We could slip in those matches, or we could be pushing up the table like everybody else. So bad time to have injuries. But after that, we tend to slide into some easier matches for our final run into Christmas for the end of the first half. We've had a lot of the harder teams completed and done by now. So after these couple of matches, hopefully our players are back. More we still have to find out about, but I would expect him back after these 3, unless they tell us otherwise, and Kakache. But we weren't great without these players initially. So We got a good result the weekend. Now, I have a question that can't really be answered, which is, did Parky push us to be more defensive? Which means we played exactly as he wanted. We just didn't get the chances that we were hoping to pull out of it, in which case we had a very good draw. Or was it a case of, with the players we were missing, we just did not have anything on attack at all? It was just pure defense, and we managed to pull out the point. We'll have to wait and see on that one, I think. But Bristol is not necessarily the team you would want to go toe to toe with if we still have our injuries.
Yeah, it'll be they've got a good attacking group when they're all fit and healthy, and I think they were for this last game. Twine is a great player. Yeah, I think they're a tough team, but you still got to look at your home games and think we need to be winning at home.
Yeah.
Granted they're in fourth place, and they're a really good team, but still, still should be looking at it as a game that you want to win. Target as a game. Maybe it's a hard game to win.
Okay.
It's not going to be easy. None of these games are, but it's a game you think, okay, we need to be winning our home games. And then what is it? Blackburn after that at home also is the next one, I think. That's another game I think you need to be looking at and thinking, yeah, we should be winning that at home. So, yeah, I don't know. As far as what you said about the weekend, whether he's set up to be more defensive, I think he probably did. I think he probably. I actually thought, so when we talked about it on tactical fortitude, I thought we'd go back with a similar, providing that we had a healthy Kiefer and healthy Kakache. I thought we'd have a similar lineup to what we did against Coventry, and because I thought it'd be a very similar type of game, and obviously those two weren't healthy. And so he kind of went a little different direction with it. And to me, I think he did go more defensive. And I think he thought, you know what, let's go down there. And, I don't want to say he played for a draw, but I think he definitely set up defensive. We're going to make it hard to break us down. And then hopefully we can get something on a counter. And unfortunately, I don't think it worked out. I tell you what, though, that ball over the top from O'Brien to Hardy, that was a close one. That ball was inches from being played perfectly, and Hardy would have had a one-on-one. And God, what their fans would have absolutely, as bad as pissed as they were afterward, God, they'd have lost their minds if we'd have won that game. But yeah, Hardy couldn't quite make the stretch to get that ball under control. But yeah, it was interesting. It does make me wonder. I know we're kind of not necessarily doing a recap of the whole game, but I do wonder after seeing that, would we have been better playing Hardy from the start? I think he's got a little more pace than Smith. Not that Smith was bad. I don't think he was. I thought Sam worked really hard. You know what I mean? But just I wonder if Hardy may have been the better one to go with in that situation. But either way, neither one of them are Kiefer Moore. It's we had to play a different style with those guys up front. So it's interesting. But I guess to what you're talking about, I do think he probably did set up to be a little more defensive, but like you said, there's no way of knowing that for sure unless you got Parky to say it, and he ain't gonna say it. So
yeah, is there any shame in doing that though? Really,
I don't think so.
You're missing a fair few of what you would classify as your better players. You're going away at a team which realistically everyone fancies to go up as champions this season. Let's be honest. I did see the highlights back, and yes, they should have comfortably beaten you with the chances they have. But ultimately, They didn't put the ball in the back of the net. You rode your luck a little bit, and you get a point. Job done. You know, I will touch on. Did you say you got obviously Bristol at home next? Then do you have Blackburn at home and then
Blackburn at home and then Preston away?
That's it, like you said, Paddy. That's on the face of it, you wouldn't necessarily say that they're terrible fixtures, but Bristol are a particularly very good away side, counter-attacking side. I think Blackburn have got one of the better away records in the division, and Preston have got one of the better home records in the division. So that's really like you said, that's 3 really not nice fixtures to have in a row, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Especially if you're still missing a couple of players.
Yeah.
Did you think it was interesting that he didn't start O'Brien?
Yeah.
I thought that was odd. I don't wonder what his thinking was behind that. I mean, it worked, so I'm not,
Yeah, see, that's kind of what leads me to believe that he did go pure defensive. He put more defensive players on, and it ultimately became really annoying when O'Brien came on late and got a yellow card.
Yeah,
and now it is not available for the next matches, because if you're going to get a yellow card and get yourself banned, you might as well play the whole bloody match.
Yeah.
It's so that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Okay, so same trick we did on the bottom. I'm going to move from teams up and see who thinks that the team has potential to get into playoffs with what we know so far. Okay, let's start with Southampton, 16th. Do they potentially have what it takes to get up to playoffs?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. QPR.
I don't think they do.
Not over a full season, probably not. Okay, Wrexham, yes. Partly based on January, we will improve. I think we'll significantly improve in January. But I do worry about injuries now in the next period of results. We could potentially be in bad shape by January if things don't go well. But okay, Charlton Athletic. Nope.
Yeah, I think they're heading the wrong way.
Yeah. Okay, Derby.
Yeah, I think they can.
I don't personally. I think that the recent run of form is fantastic, but I'm not sure. I feel that's a bit more of a flash in the pan. I don't think that's a consistent sort of form.
I'll tell you what. I do actually. I want to retract that because. Oh crap, John! Who's the kid's been scoring for him?
Carlton Morris injured.
Yes, just got injured. I think that's gonna be bad. That may not be good for them. They may struggle without him scoring.
That was guaranteed to happen because I brought him into my fantasy dream team this weekend, which is the kiss of death for every striker, basically. So, yeah.
So we've established you're not allowed to bring Kiefer Moore into your team. Stay the hell away.
I did earlier in the season. I think he did.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, next up, Watford.
I actually think they are.
Really?
See, I don't. I'm going to go the other way.
Surprisingly,
I'm going to say no on them.
+2 goal difference, which is helpful. But okay, Leicester City.
Yeah, be interesting to see what happens with the points.
Without the points deduction, we haven't got them. We just have to kind of
yeah. It sounded like it's not going to be as much as it was originally thought to be, though. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I think they certainly still can, though, for sure.
Yeah. Now it should be getting easier at this point. Birmingham City, yes.
Oh, those guys are terrible. Get them out of here.
Relegation.
Yeah, that's right.
Ipswich Town, yes.
Oh, yeah, they're probably going to be automatic.
Millwall.
I'm not convinced by Millwall.
Me
I haven't
neither.
been all season.
I wasn't when we went and played them. I was not impressed. And I know that's one game, and obviously they've had a very a decent season at least. You know what I mean? So it's not fair to judge a team off of one game, but I wasn't impressed by them.
They've scored a lot,
Mm.
but let in a lot of goals too, which is a big problem.
It's kind of unlike Neil though too, to give up a lot of goals.
Sadly for Millwall, I feel they are going to do what they seem to do every season, which is kind of flirt with the top 6.
Yeah.
But when it gets really down to the business end, they'll probably fade away and probably finish 10th or 9th, which, you know, on the shape of things won't be a bad season. But again, they'll probably end up being like 8-9 points off the playoffs, and you know.
And okay, I was wrong about them scoring a lot. They don't score a lot. I was looking at Hull.
Oh,
oops!
I wasn't paying attention. I was just listening to. I was just agreeing with you.
Okay. So Millwall aren't scoring. They actually have a -5 on goal difference, which is not good in the long term. That kind of shows you're got lucky with when you're scoring your goals and when you're letting goals in, that you're still getting points. But yeah, -5 is not good to be up that high, really.
Yeah. And letting in 23 goals is that's pretty high. Like I said, that's not like usually Alex Neil's teams are pretty. They set up pretty good defensively, so that's interesting that they've struggled.
Yeah, like if you compare it to Derby, they've 22-22.
Right.
So even goal difference, and they've scored more, and they've let in about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with them, theirs will be similar to ours, where we're 20-19, but we gave up a lot of goals early. As where recently we've been a lot better defensively. Yeah, so we've kind of turned, you know, and I think Derby has too. So, yeah.
Okay, next up then, Hull City currently in the playoff spots, first team in, 28 goals for, 27 against, +1. Can they make it?
I don't think they're consistent enough. I think consistency will be their problem. I think their inconsistency will be their problem. They're we were talking about them earlier. It's like what team shows up. You know what I mean? You don't know. They can be really good, which, you know, they've scored 28 goals. They also can be really bad. They've conceded 27 goals. So, it's, you know, who's going to show up? I think, I think they probably end up somewhere in 7, 8, 9. You know what I mean? Just outside of it.
If you're letting in that many goals, at some point you're going to go on a really bad run. You're gonna lose a lot of matches.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Is, you know, if the attack keeps doing what it's doing for the rest of the season, they will be there or thereabouts. The only thing is, you do feel that having that defensive record the way it is, it puts an awful lot of pressure on that attacking line to score as many. You know, it's that old adage thing is, you know, if you need to score 2-3 goals a game to essentially get a result, which is what it feels like they have to do these days, at some point the attack is going to dry up a little bit and go on a bit of a bad run, because that's just football. Unless they can improve the defensive side, you do feel that. I wouldn't be surprised if they went through like a 6-7 game run where they don't win a game, for example.
Yeah, they've had a lot of 3-2 wins, you know, which is not sustainable. That can very quickly turn to 3-2 losses. Like that, with that many goals coming in, that's unsustainable. Then we have Preston North End in 5th. 21 goals for, 16 against, decent against there, +5. Can they hold out?
No.
See, that's where I don't think so either. They're just a team that it's more of a feeling than what I've seen from them. I just feel like they're going to start losing some games. You know what I mean? They just feel like a team that's not going to be able to hold on through a whole season.
They feel a bit what I would classify as like flat track bullies, where, you know, they can muscle their way past quite a few teams in this division, but when it comes to the top end, not top end, but, you know, the top 10, shall we say?
Yeah.
I think they look considerably poorer than everyone else around them. I've seen a few of their games, and I've never been impressed. Well organised and very structured, and you can see they won't lose many games, but I'm just not convinced they will win enough games to stay in that hunt.
Yeah, kind of agree with that. Bristol City, fourth.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they certainly have the ability to do it. Will they potentially slide out? Yes, but have to wait and see. On that one, then Stoke doing pretty well, 22-12, +10.
Begrudgingly, yes.
Yeah, they've been really good. They've surprised me. I had them down towards the bottom of the table pre-season, so I'm really impressed with Stoke. I think they're a pretty good team.
Okay, and then we have Middlesbrough and Coventry, top two. You'd be crazy to say they can't.
yeah.
I'm less convinced about Middlesbrough.
I was gonna say, I agree. I think Coventry are just about nailed on to get automatically promoted at this point, but Middlesbrough, I could see, wouldn't be surprising when we get to the end of the season and they're sitting around 5th or 6th fighting for that last spot.
It
wouldn't surprise me. Now with the new manager, who knows what happens? They could get better. They
get better. They could fall through the floor.
Yeah. Who knows? Anything can happen. But
I mean, if you look at that, I mean, Middlesbrough got Coventry next. If we're saying, I think we're all probably here expecting Coventry to probably win the game.
Yeah.
All it takes is like 3 of the 4 or 5 teams below Middlesbrough to win, and all of a sudden, they are 1 or 2 points off being like 5th or 6th.
Right. Yeah, they're right there.
And then if you look at their form, like we said earlier, it's like 13th or 12th, mid-table form. All of a sudden, that in 3 games' time, for example, you would not be shocked to see Middlesbrough outside the top 6.
Right.
Yeah, and if they do lose to Coventry, then the new manager has to come in and take those next 2 matches and get results almost immediately. Now, he'll have had a little bit of time with them, but not a crazy amount.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's basically leaderboards and all matches and teams sorted. So, in the world of football, are there other areas we want to cover?
Football, never heard of it. No, there was of course, our big topic from last week. You want to touch on that, and because that was voted on, we'll cover that.
Yep, let's do it. So, vote came in, and they voted down anchoring. So, no having an upper level requirement for the team spend. So no completely artificial level that you will hit at some point. But the other elements did come in. So a percentage of your revenue can be used on your team. Was it 80% they came up with?
I think it's 80-something% for European teams or European qualified teams, and 75% for everyone else, I think, or something like that. So the European qualified teams get a higher percentage because, in theory, their budgets are higher.
Okay. Habs is saying 85%. Okay. One of the other things that they added that I had never heard about before was the ability to overspend and pay a tariff, a fine, basically. So you can overspend if you have the money, and then you can pay your fines if you also can afford your fines, which is interesting. I have not seen anywhere what they're going to do with that money. In theory, in other leagues, when you're allowed to do that, the money gets divided out between the other teams who are basically disadvantaged by the fact you're spending more than them. I don't know if that's the case here, but it probably would make sense considering it's kind of an income, like TV revenues and whatever. So yeah, who else is it going to go to? the league itself for running costs, well, they have a budget. They have whatever they need there. So it would make sense that it divides out, but it's not going to be very much when it's divided among 19 clubs. Also, as well, what was I going to say? There is a limit to how much you can spend. That was it. You can't just excessively overspend if you have the money. There are some limits there. And over time as well, there are limits across 3 seasons. The one big thing that was of notice that many people commented on was, although the rules are potentially more obvious and easier to comprehend and follow, they are still not clear enough. And creative accountants are going to be able to play about with the system, which is what nobody, I think, wanted. They wanted it to be nice and simple, nice and easy, but no, there's lots of different areas where you can play about and fudge numbers and move things from this column to that column on a spreadsheet. So that's going to be messy, in my opinion.
I think Kieran Maguire's tweet, didn't he? Somebody asked him the question on Twitter about the rules, and I think his reply was, creative accountants will be loving this.
Yeah, because they still had room to maneuver.
Yeah.
Okay. What else was there? Was there something else?
Was there anything else?
Okay. Maral is asking about our transfer rumor.
Do I got to put the wig back on?
Siddiqui Sharif, 18 years old, possibly 20 million. I don't. Where these numbers are coming from is just wild.
I saw 17 in one of the things.
And I don't know whether that's even converted to pounds or because he's out in Europe, as to whether it should actually be euros and not pounds either. But like the websites are quoting him at about 5 million.
Yeah.
Now, of course, look, when you're doing well, you always overpay. They're always behind the system because they're based on your last more than your future potential. But like 5 million jumping to 20, maybe if a Prem team kind of wants to splash that cash. But Prem teams have their academies for this as well. You would want to be a top talent to be getting in, and if they are interested, and if he does go to one of them, he'll go immediately on loan. He doesn't seem to have the stats or the performance at a level yet where you could break in as a youngster to one of the top Premier League clubs. He'll go straight on loan.
The price being what it is, I can't imagine we spend that much. I don't think we're in a position. We've got money. I don't think we are in a position right now to be spending that much on potential, because that's what it is. It is potential. Nobody knows whether this kid's going to be that good or not, and that's a lot of money. That would, that would go completely against kind of the model that we've gone with. You know what I mean? Parky likes experience. Now, I'm not saying we wouldn't spend that much. Maybe we would spend that much, but I think if we did spend that much, it'd be on a player that was experienced at the level or the level above and was, you know what I mean? I think it wouldn't be a potential signing. You know what I mean? That's kind of my thoughts on it. My guess is we probably asked about him, and his agent let that be known. That'd be my guess. So
I hope you do sign him for 20 million, because then I can hit you with that stick after you keep saying we spent how much for Stansfield, and I can say how much for an 18-year-old kid.
Well, look, in fairness, didn't we ask about Harry Darling too? You know what I mean? We did ask, and we got the number, and then said, no.
Not Darling. You mean no? Darling's a defender. You're talking about the Norwich. You're talking
Sargent.
about
Sargent.
Sargent,
Sorry.
yeah, Josh
Yeah, I
Sargent.
mixed up my names. Josh Sargent. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest. This potential kid, I don't know whether it's just me on the outside, but I would say it's. I think I said it to Josh earlier. It's the most un-Parkinson-like signing you could possibly go.
I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree.
You know, I don't see a world where he goes and blows like huge amount of millions on an 18-year-old kid. You know, I just don't see it.
Yeah.
If you've got a championship, a top end championship squad already in place, then yeah, you absolutely might take the gamble on that. But you know, like you said, 20 million. Say I don't know. Say it's 10 million, for example. Are you really going to spend 10 million quid on an 18-year-old kid with potential?
Exactly. Yeah. No.
I don't see
Parkinson's not. I know. That would be, like I said, that would be completely against the way we've done our business. Like it's just not a Parkinson thing to do. Not that I have a problem with signing potential, but to spend that much money on potential, I think that's where I have the.
Yeah, you'd rather spend it on a proven number 10 or a striker or another defense.
Wing back or something we need.
Yeah. the question is this one: would he immediately come into our squad? And from everything I've seen and heard about him, no, he wouldn't immediately come in and be a first team player. So although his age profile is young and he would be outside the squad for multiple seasons, we will not spend that much money on a player you're putting on the bench.
Yep.
Now, if he looks like a championship player and just hasn't got the experience yet, then that's slightly different. You could maybe kind of risk that sort of idea because you've got a couple of years with him too before he even kind of hits any sort of peak. But yeah, for someone who isn't going to play every match or whatever, it's way too much money for us at the moment.
I mean, he's a left winger / striker, isn't he?
Right.
So my question would be is, say you sign him, what the hell do you do with Broadhead? Because I mean, you don't play him now. If you were to sign this kid, well, yeah. Thanks, Nathan. Goodbye.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I was trying to look up his minutes. Yeah, so he's played 13 matches, started 9. He scored 3 goals. He's got a 6.46 rating, which is, he's played 751 minutes. So, I mean, he's getting time right now. I don't know. He scored 3 goals and I don't know.
3 goals isn't a wonder kid, like. He's not.
I don't. Maybe I don't know. Here's the thing, though.
What division is he playing?
How do you pronounce Ligue 1 in France? I mean, he's playing in top tier France. So
okay.
I mean,
plays for Angers, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Just bear in mind, when we were in the Championship some years ago under Harry Redknapp as our manager, we signed the Angers captain called Chekin Doy, and he was meant to be this all-battling, wonderful central midfielder. I've never seen anyone who had any lack of footballing ability ever like him ever on a football pitch. So I wouldn't put too much faith in French football in that regard. I'm sure the kid's very good, but yeah, pinch of salt, I would say.
Yeah, that's an odd one. That would be a completely oddball signing for me. I don't. And don't get me wrong, I've not watched him. I've not seen much. I've not seen highlights. I didn't take a chance to look. Didn't have a chance to look at him today. So I mean, who knows? Maybe he's unbelievably fast, and we're all just talking shit, and he's actually going to be a great player. But that just seems. I don't know. That doesn't sound like you said. It doesn't sound like a Parkinson signing at all.
Can I just reply to Esteban there saying, you've got to up your game, Esteban, because we're spending billions on chimneys. So just saying.
A whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
Although the children, close your ears. I did see the Aston Villa account that had the turned them into dildos, big dildos.
Those our neighbours across the expressway are absolutely shitting themselves because for the last 6 to 8 months they've convinced themselves this is never getting built. It was never happening. It was a land grab. It's all bollocks. Blah blah blah. And now, of course, it's actually really happening. There's a fair amount of denial on that side of the expressway at the moment. It's quite
So
funny.
You mean like the people that say they prefer their stand to your potential fancy new stand? Not stand, to stadium.
Yeah. I mean, I won't lie. The design of it is different. I'm not sure whether I like it or dislike it.
I actually like it. I think I like
But
it.
the one thing, and I keep saying this to everyone, it's different. You try and tell me a stadium like it in Europe that will look anything like it, and it won't. And I think, as somebody did say on TalkSport said, whether you think the design's good or bad, everyone is talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of doing its job, isn't it? So
yeah, and it's a design that people won't reuse. You know, they won't have reason to copy it. Let's say maybe you'll get another one with towers. You know, maybe they'll use that element or whatever, but it will look completely different. So that's what you want as well. You want people to be able to look at an image and know immediately if you've ever come across it. That's Birmingham Stadium. You know, all the big, well-known stadiums out there, like people who don't follow football know what they are because they've just come across them.
Yeah, I think if somebody at work told me the other day, said if you were to go around anywhere in Europe once it's built and show a photo of that stadium to pretty much anyone, they'll know whose stadium it is because it will be such a design which has not been seen before.
I saw somebody. I can't remember. I was watching. I don't remember which one it was. I was watching one of the championship podcasts, and somebody mentioned that Stoke's going to be pissed because the pot with all those chimneys that'd have been perfect for the Potters.
Yeah. Damn it, we missed the trick there. Like I said to Ken last night, I said we as Birmingham fans haven't missed a trick about taking the mick. When we scored the first goal against Norwich, the chant around the stadium was 1-0 to the Chimney Boys. So you know, it's all good fun. It's all good fun.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I do like it though. I thought it was pretty creative. I immediately I was kind of like, oh, I actually do like that. Like, cause it makes sense. I understand why they, the point, and it's different, and I like that it's different. So that's cool.
Okay, so I think that's it, unless we have a new topic to finish off with. Okay.
Nothing.
Well, I do, because as I said at the start, I have clips. Today's show has been clips and clips and clips and clips and clips. So, on the bombshell of injuries and potentially destroying our season, let's talk about more injuries and put up a clip. So, once again, for anyone who doesn't know, this is Mr. Baz Rathbone, who I interviewed, and the full video will be released most likely in the next couple of days. I don't know exactly when just yet. And we had a fantastic conversation about everything to do with football and physios. And I'll show one more clip and then we are out of here. So if we want to say goodbye now, guys, I'll throw up the clip and we are done. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Okay, where's my clip? Getting a little bit then to some of your experience as a physio, some injuries in the game. Can I ask you, what is one of the worst injuries you've had to deal with from a player with got injured?
Yeah, the worst injuries I've ran onto the pitch to are like the dramatic open fracture of the shin where there's blood and the bone sticking through. They're not good to see, but surgery now, and the orthopedics are just so good. There's very little keeps you out of an injury. I ran on. It's not nice to run onto a neck injury or an unconscious player. That's next level. Obviously, it's bad if somebody's broke the leg, but it's a broken leg. If somebody's lying on the pitch not breathing, we had a situation when I was at Everton. We played, I think it was Fiorentina in the Europa League. And Mikel Arteta, I've just watched him doing his press conference. They've just beat Spurs, as you know. So Mikel he got knocked out. Then he had a post-concussive fit, which obviously I'm not revealing anything confidential because that was seen by everybody watching it on the television.
Yeah.
That's not nice to handle.